Online dating apps have become increasingly popular, offering a convenient way to meet new friends and partners. But then again, safety is paramount. For more on this conversation, we're now joined by security expert and corporate security risk solution CEO Christopher Glinka. Christopher, thank you so much for your time and for joining us this evening. How rife is criminal activity, especially for those that are looking for love on online dating apps?
Thank you so very much, and greetings from the beautiful Germany. Coming to the topic, this is a very sensitive one. We have to be mindful that it's only few and far in between. So, the threat comes from those individuals who actually try to exploit the big majority of people who actually go in with the mindset of, trying to find the loved one in their life. So they are particularly vulnerable and can be taken quickly on the ride just from a state of mind perspective. So this is, of course, where these bad actors come in and try to actually exploit the people that actually try to just find a loved one.
And when you say exploit, what are some of the worst outcomes of this exploitation?
It depends on the different platforms. I mean, we have social media, we have apps, and we have to always be mindful that we actually grant permission to the hosting or the hosts of the app, what they can do. For example, if it comes to the app Grindr, it is common practice that you actually have your location services on, meaning that you can be located. The two people who are on Grindr, they would actually find one another with these consents, which is basically already the precursor to the problem, because if I already share my whereabouts, that already poses a risk, for example.
So who's more prone to this criminality? Are we seeing more males or females, younger people, older people who are on these sites that are falling prey to some of the criminals?
The demographic landscape is, it's very wide, but I would say young women are very much targeted, but we also see a spike in particular in the LGBTQ community, particularly if it comes to the Grindr app, simply because there is, of course, we all know the date rape drug. And, it's very easy to slip a drug into a drink on the first date. So my guidance here is always to make sure that you have eyes on your drink. And once you lost eyes on the drink, don't drink it anymore, in particular on your first date with somebody that you're very unfamiliar with.
So I would think that one would obviously have to be very careful as to which site they go on. But how does one even tell that an online dating app is more reputable over the other?
I think word of mouth is actually, a good guideline. Talk to friends about it, see if somebody has experience with that. I think that's your best go-to, I think. Online reviews are less credible to me because they can be designed. I mean, we have social engineering as a problem, etc., etc. So I can create a perception online, but, experiences from friends or family, that is, of course, something that, helps a lot.
I can imagine. And just maybe in terms of comparing South Africa to other countries, how would you say we fare in terms of criminal activities that happen online? And what can we learn from more developed countries that have been experiencing some of online dating and the criminality that would come with it, so that people in South Africa would know how to sort of navigate when it comes to finding the right people online?
Yeah, thanks for the question. I think it's very important, to be very communicative about the issue. I mean, tell friends, tell family who it is that you are seeing, do your online checks with the person. There's, of course, reverse imaging that can be done. So where you take the picture of the profile that you're actually presumably to be dating, and then verify that with an online search just, upfront to see who am I actually dealing with. To see, for example, when was the account created? Is there life in the account? Is it constantly filled with life? Or is it just a plain picture? Those are my first things that I would check. And then, of course, what I can say is if it comes to the first dates, make sure that you're meeting in a public place. Make sure that you enlist the help of bartenders or, for example, waitresses. Tell them that you are seeing someone, and if there's a problem, you may give a code word or something where they can, assist and get you out of that situation without losing your face in a particular way. I think Europe has a lot on that, where the context or where people actually meet, it's common practice for bartenders and waitresses, to be engaged in such situation where, someone that's actually meeting someone for the first time is actually enlisting the help.
Do you find, like with the situation of the VIT students, that thank goodness they have been saved and the people have been nabbed who were a part of the kidnapping, do we find that we are seeing more convictions when it comes to those who have been arrested for such acts, and then maybe that could be a deterrence for those that are looking to continue with such criminal activity?
In South Africa, I have to say, the police services is quite good in managing kidnapping situations and hostage situations, but that's only half of the medal, of course. Bringing the people to the courts is, of course, the first part and parcel. Unfortunately, sometimes, the process is so very long and takes so very far ahead that people actually lose confidence into the justice system. But what I can say is, of course, the police has done outstanding job here in bringing those people to justice. And now, the justice system just has to keep up the good work and has to follow suit with the good work, of course, of the police.
Most certainly. You mentioned earlier on that some of the tips would be ensuring that when you are going to a public place to meet someone for the first time, that you alert the waitresses and the waiters and the bartenders. Are there any other tips that you can give for people who are on dating sites in order for them not to find themselves in situations that they wouldn't want to be in?
Of course. It's always, I always say, listen to your sixth sense. God gave us, this feeling in us, and, very quickly it's overwritten with intentions, with, something that we see ahead. But when we listen to that feeling, it's basically our natural protective instinct kicking in. And we just need to make sure we listen to it when the time happens that it talks to us.
Most certainly. Thank you so much for your time this evening, and I'm sure many that are on certain sites would be able to take some of that information and ensure that they do find themselves in a place of safety. Thank you so much for joining us. That was Christopher Glinka speaking to us there about the safeties of online dating.